This is section 25 of Mark Twain's Speeches, by Mark Twain. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Votes for Women, by Mark Twain, read by John Greenman. At the annual meeting of the Hebrew Technical School for Girls, held in the Temple Emmanuel, January 20th, 1901. Mr. Clemens was introduced by President Meyer, who said, "In one of Mr. Clemens' works he expresses his opinion of men, saying he had no choice between Hebrew and Gentile, black men or white. To him all men were alike. But I never could find that he expressed his opinion of women. Perhaps that opinion was so exalted that he could not express it. We shall now be called to hear what he thinks of women."
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a small help that I can afford, but it is just such help that one can give as coming from the heart through the mouth. The report of Mr. Meyer was admirable, and I was as interested in it as you have been. Why, I'm twice as old as he, and I've had so much experience that I would say to him, when he makes his appeal for help, "Don't make it for today or tomorrow, but collect the money on the spot." We are all creatures of sudden impulse. We must be worked up by steam, as it were. Get them to write their wills now, or it may be too late by and by. 15 or 20 years ago I had an experience I shall never forget. I got into a church which was crowded by a sweltering and panting multitude. The city missionary of our town, Hartford, made a telling appeal for help. He told of personal experiences among the poor in cellars and top lofts, requiring instances of devotion and help. The poor are always good to the poor. When a person, with his millions, gives $100,000, it makes a great noise in the world, but he does not miss it. It's the widow's mite that makes no noise, but does the best work. I remember on that occasion in the Hartford church the collection was being taken up. The appeal had so stirred me that I could hardly wait for the hat or plate to come my way. I had $400 in my pocket, and I was anxious to drop it in the plate and wanted to borrow more. But the plate was so long in coming my way that the fever heat of beneficence was going down lower and lower, going down at the rate of $100 a minute. The plate was passed too late. When it finally came to me, my enthusiasm had gone down so much that I kept my $400 and stole a dime from the plate. So, you see, time sometimes leads to crime. Oh, many a time have I thought of that and regretted it, and I adjure you all to give while the fever is on you. Referring to woman's sphere in life, I'll say that woman is always right. For 25 years I've been a woman's rights man. I have always believed, long before my mother died, that, with her gray hairs and admirable intellect, perhaps she knew as much as I did. Perhaps she knew as much about voting as I. I should like to see the time come when women shall help to make the laws. I should like to see that whiplash, the ballot, in the hands of women. As for this city's government, I don't want to say much except that it is a shame. A shame. But if I should live 25 years longer, and there is no reason why I shouldn't, I think I'll see women handle the ballot. If women had the ballot today, the state of things in this town would not exist. If all the women in this town had a vote today, they would elect a mayor at the next election, and they would rise in their might and change the awful state of things now existing here.
End of Votes for Women, by Mark Twain. Read by John Greenman.